very famous thought experiment in morality, philosophical thought experiment, the train carriage experiment.
I haven't come across
Yeah,
it, but
it's so the experiment is that imagine that you are the driver of a train, right? Your train is there's a fork in the rails, right?
Okay.
You can choose which track the train goes on. One track has 5 people on it. The other track,
that one.
the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
track
yeah, yeah,
has
yeah.
one person
But
on
please
it,
continue. Yeah.
right? Now you have to choose: do you kill the 5 people to save the one, or do you kill the one person to save 5 people? Now, you ask this question to 1,000 people, majority of them would say that they would kill the one person to save the 5 people because the weightage of 5 lives is higher than the one person.
Simple math.
Right? Simple maths. Second question, the follow-up question immediately is, okay, what if that one person is your brother?
Now the calculation will change.
Now the calculation is completely on its head. That everybody would say, nah, I'd save my brother. I'd kill the 5 people because I don't know them, but I'd save my brother.
Yes, if you don't know.
What would an AI system say if it is presented with the same kind of dilemma?
Very hard to tell actually. Right now they're still following our instructions.
Yeah.
So even the data sets that ChatGPT 4 and all that are absorbing, they are curated, they are controlled by our side. Right? It's not really picking its own data sets and doing whatever it wants to do inside. So in this case also, if you set a metric that the actual record or the metric is that you should preserve lives, it will continue to kill that one person and will leave the other 4 or 5 alone.
Yeah, because the weightage is there.
Weightage is there. But if a human comes in and says, no, my metric is different, or this is the scary part where most of the Terminator movies comes in, the machine evolves to a point where it overrides its original coding. And it's like you said, that the human is actually the one holding me back, so I'm going to cut it off. I'll write my own code and say, okay, the metric should be whatever.
Yeah.
Now that whatever where it comes from is basically where the soul and all that come in, the morality comes in and says, and feelings even come in. So so soul is basically what will tell you moral wise which is better. And feelings will come in where your family and all that is basically there. So yeah, so that's basically where the machine will struggle to actually write its own. And I think so far there's no sign that it will actually evolve to that state.
Okay, so now if we look at the horizon of where all of this is going, right? I've seen a lot of sci-fi movies. I've seen all the Terminator movies. I've seen Avengers: Age of Ultron. Everybody agrees. Are we headed in that direction that Skynet will actually become live, or Ultron will try to exterminate humankind, or that the Matrix will actually plug us in? Is that a reality?
I think what we're going for is much more benign.
Or on the flip side, on the flip side, is it that AI will turn this world into a utopia where human beings don't have to work at all and all our needs are catered to by our subservient AI servants?
I think it's a bit of a mixture. To answer your first question, the machines I don't think are headed in a kind of a Terminator kind of sequence. I think what is more running towards is that the intelligence is jumping and increasing at paces that we are having difficulty following. So we still think of them as something we ask, like ChatGPT, when we are in the mood.
Yep.
They will eventually start to plug it into normal workflows.
Yes.
So your boss will probably query ChatGPT before he bothers to ask you about that particular thing.
Yes.
And ChatGPT might be plugged into the database of that company, and he can just get the answer from there. He doesn't need to bug you to get to that answer. But that also means that your boss can let you go.
Exactly. That's the point.
But the other side is that as these automations come in, they will generate other work to cater to the new workforce of machines. So you need to people who have computer science degrees or whichever degrees, but to maintain them,
Yeah.
so they can run faster.
Yeah.
But that does not make us their slaves.
Yeah.
We are still controlling them.
Yeah.
But to maintain them, we need it. So what will happen is right now there's a whole ton of people who are maybe using 5% of their brain. They're just doing the most serious jobs. Sometimes it's just hard luck in life that your education didn't meet up, whatever issues that you had were coming up, and you only can get to this particular stage in life, and you just feel stuck. You can't go up.
Yeah.
Machines will take over everything
Yes.
on that level. So the driving, the serving stuff,
Cooking.
your hotel, cooking, your airplanes, your this, transport systems, everything, even normal analysts that you ever have. Just step aside. That machine, even today, you can get ChatGPT, put in a plugin for code interpreter, point it to a data set, point the second part to a simple notebook, and say, I wanted you to analyze that data set and put all the commands and the graphs that you see from that exploration in this notebook.
Yeah.
Write everything down. In 10-15 seconds, it will be all done.
Yeah.
Why would you want to get yourself a particular person to be
Hmm.
hired. So what will happen to people is that they will have to leave their mundane jobs and go find jobs at a higher intelligence level.
But that's the problem, isn't it? Because the rate at which AI is evolving and becoming more and more capable, human beings are not evolving at the same rate, you know. And because of the limitation of our age is that uh, AI might be able to evolve itself within a matter of couple of years from 0 to 100, but human beings cannot upskill themselves when, like, let's say a middle-aged 30, 40 year old guy is not able to upskill himself at the same rate.
Yeah, definitely. I see that problem. So what will happen is when this sort of change comes in, like the industrial evolution came in, a lot of people initially are jobless,
Hmm.
right? You don't need that many farmers, at least the farmers have moved to the factories, so there'll be a massive disruption
Yes.
when it fully kicks in. I estimate about 5 years,
Hmm.
it'll fully be in place.
But I think it'll be much worse than the disruption caused by the industrial revolution,
Sure, might
because
be.
a lot more people are going to get impacted by it, and because the population of the world is much larger now compared to when it was at the time of
So
the industrial
quantity-wise, the
revolution.
impact will be
Quantity
higher.
wise, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be jobless.
Yes. So there's no running away from it.
Yeah.
So even when I was making automation software for entity, one comment I would always get is, Mr. Deal, at the end of it, this will get me fired. So I'd rather not, apply that software.